Hey y'all, welcome to CorasTruth, where this is a safe place to accept your truth to change your future. Thank you if you are here and you're new. Thank you for joining, and if you are returning, welcome back. Before we get started, if you would go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment because I do talk back. I am Arlise, your your host, and here I have my husband Chris. So thank you, and we'll go ahead and get started. So today we're going to talk about intimacy. um, I went ahead and I did a little research on intimacy. So let me give you the definition so what we know what we're truly dealing with, because intimacy is not just about relations. And just for the sake of YouTube, we cannot say the word sex, so you will not hear us say that word. We can only use relations. So just in case anyone's wondering. So intimacy is close familiarity or friendship. It's a closeness, an intimate act, feeling of close and emotional connection and support. Sharing thoughts, feelings, and experiences that we have as human beings. Intimacy is also important in non-romantic relationships. It's a form of forming connections with others that are deep, lasting, and healthy. As it states, intimacy is relationship. It basically tells me that there is an emotional side, as it's stated in the definition. That's what makes it more than just relation, because there has to be a not just physical thing, but an emotional side. There has to be attachment. Building a relationship. With building a relationship, you begin to know each other, learn each other, learn your do's, your don'ts, learn the deepest parts of the person, and you grow to love them. So intimacy has a lot to do with, how can I say it? It's a deep connection, should I say?
Yeah, I can agree. That's one of the things I think is more important when we coming into our marriage is the intimacy part. It's the factor of relations, which is another part of communication, talking, learning the atmosphere, just really just getting to know your partner. Well, me getting to know my wife more, because in the beginning it was, a sexual attraction. Now it's more of, okay, we got that sexual attraction out of the way, so now it's more to the point of understanding the body language, understanding the mood, understanding the atmosphere that comes with that. So a lot of times when I approach my wife, or we try to learn each other as far as knowing when is at an intimate moment, and having intimacy is two different things for us. I know a lot of that plays a role in our day-to-day things we have going on in our lives, meaning that we have a lot of distractions, we have a lot of standstills, we have a lot of points where you just want to nip it in the bud, just get a ink in right quick. So you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I mean when I say that. But it's just knowing when and what to do at the current and right times. So with me, intimacy with my wife, it's more of a mental thing, I should say, because it's more like me really intellecting her mind so that I can get to her body somewhat. So, and a lot of times it doesn't really have to be like that, but a lot of times you have to stroke the ego, vice versa. With that saying, if you want something, you'll work to get it. So a lot of times, if you're doing what you're supposed to do in an intimate point to lead up to intimacy, you'll get what you need in the end. And a lot of times, with me and my wife, we kind of bump heads a lot of times, but sometimes I feel like she wants intimacy, and I mean, can't really bang off that, but you know, a lot of times it's that extra attention that's needed to pull through and try to understand where she's coming from so that intimacy will prevail.
That tells me that there is power in your presence. Intimacy with, you know, there has to be a relationship, there has to be a commitment, there has to be, like you said, a mental attraction, an emotional attraction. Um, and with the power in your presence, not condoning cheating or, you know, saying it's okay, but I can understand why people cheat because that intimacy is not there. And your presence is needed in any relationship that you have, marriage, friendships, family, in order for it to thrive. um and I know one thing for me is like, you know, the pillow talks, having conversation in the afternoons, you know, when we get off work, just to, you know, you used to rub my feet and we would have conversations. It wasn't even much we was talking about, but that's intimacy to me because that turns me on, not just, you know, for relations, but turns me on mentally. It turns me on emotionally. That says that, you know, my husband cares about me and he's showing me that he cares through conversation, through, you know, the touch. Even though it's my feet, it's still a touch. That touch does something to your body, and it's a chemical thing that it does. So there is power in your presence with conversation and with your emotions. And most time when, again, not condoning it, but most time when people cheat, there is a lack of intimacy. So that's why they go out and try to fill that void. So a lot of people fill that void because they're missing that emotional part. They're missing that, because, you know, you can get a hit it and quit it right quick, and it means nothing. There's no intimacy. It's just what it is. But when you're missing the emotional part, the touch, the conversation, the, you know, you're feeling lonely, then people step out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I can agree to that or piggyback off that because a lot of times, you know, especially if you at work or you come home and you had a long stressful day and you like, okay, it can go vice versa, you know, and especially if you're a man and you dealing with a lot of things that's outside of the world and you come home and you got to hear nagging about this and that, and then, you know, the attraction between the two kind of dims because it's like, what is there, you know what I'm saying, besides, oh, you're gonna nag about this or you're gonna nag about that or you're gonna say something about this or you're never happy about that. So a lot of times is setting the mood right. And like you said, you know, when you set that mood right, it's a mental thing, not just for you, it's for me too, because a lot of times, like you say, if you out and you about and someone approaches you or you approach somebody else or something comes to be and you could spark a relationship, I should say a conversation to the point where you're like, oh, that's a nice little conversation, and then that's where cheating or, you know, other things fall into place. So
that goes to show that, like you said, you know, you feel that void. You know,
right.
that conversation. That's how it starts. A conversation. You know, just a slight smile, and it's like, you know, dang, I missed that. You know, that's what I'm missing in my life, and you replace that
Right.
with, you know, whatever.
Yeah, which I can understand because I know I've been in boats where it's just like with us, you know what I'm saying? Like it's been very stressful sometimes, and I'm just like, it's unneeded stress. Like why? And then especially when you're sexually frustrated, then you're sitting there and you're like, come on now, and then you know nothing happens or anything doesn't go to the plans of okay, this is our intimate moment. Maybe if we release these endorphins in our mind and our brain, that's what'll release some stress that we could do what, you know, get past this point. So a lot of times it's relieving stress to a certain factor of that's what you need right then. You know, a lot of times that'll be what you need, and I'm not saying, you know, whip it out on you, but you know, sometimes.
But I hear what you're saying, but I also think that sometimes before you get a nice conversation without, let's take it, CorasTruth is a safe place. You have to make it a safe place to have a conversation, meaning there's no aggression in your voice when you talk. There's no, feeling like you have to defend yourself. It's just, okay, there's an issue, let's talk. And usually with a conversation, you may not even fix the issue, but just knowing that, okay, you heard me out, you listened to me, I know that you took it in, that's intimacy. That can create the atmosphere for a night of relations. So sometimes you're not going to be, let me say me, I don't want to just come out of an argument and I know both of us that frustrated and just whip it out. No, we need to talk. I need to get this off my mind. Some people can do it, I can't. I need to get this off my mind so that I can be what I need to be in the bedroom.
Right. It's different for different strokes for different folks.
Right.
Yeah, right. So it's a learning process that is ongoing for me. So it's different things that I'm learning, different things that I'm, coming in contact with my wife. It does, seem kind of strange. It seems unorthodox sometimes, but in order to get what she needs, I have to make sacrifices for what I want. Sometimes.
And I think that goes both ways. Marriage is a sacrifice because you have to, compromise on a lot of things. It's a selfless act.
Right.
It's not all about me. It's not all about you. And I have to, sometimes put off, okay, or at least you can't do this because your husband needs this right now. At least you can't do this because your wife needs this right now. And as we communicate and, build that whatever, then communicate to me what you need and you can get that. But that's where, that intimate conversation needs to happen.
Right.
So that you can receive what you need.
Still learning.
Yeah, it's a learning. I'm sure nobody has it down pat, but it's a learning curve, as they say. Yeah.
So I would say, feel your situations out. Feel your partner out, your significant other, your lover, your friend, your person you married. You want to feel them out. Sometimes I feel like intimacy should have been one of our 4 key factors in the beginning, because a lot of times I look at it and see, it might have been just a sexual act, but more of it should have been in a detailed way for me. Just knowing that, sometimes I don't feel like I want to jump through hoops to get what I want when I don't feel like I need to.
Yeah, and you shouldn't have to. It's just like you said, with us, speaking on our experience with each other, like you said, it shouldn't have been less relations and more conversation. And now, we're at a point where we're filling it out. More conversation, more, getting to know each other and building on that. That's why it's important when you're starting out a relationship with someone, and you're looking to date them or marry them. It's important to, leave sex out and just build a friendship. Because when times get rough and they get tough, you're gonna need to be able to depend on that friendship to build the relationship back up. And that's where I think a lot of people fail is, you got married and you fell in love or whatever, and you didn't build your friendship up. You let that part fall, and now you trying to catch up. And you like, I don't even like this person. Well, if y'all were friends first, as I hear a lot of people say, this is my best friend, and that's how they're able to, get past. Right.
Which I see a lot of people. Well, I don't say I see a lot of people, but I have seen quite a few people that I feel like their marriages are like, I wouldn't know, but I would suspect like they're okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's probably not an issue for them. or that's something they probably don't go through. And then I just think, even when I look at my aunts, my uncles, my aunt and uncle, my aunt June and my uncle Tommy. Hey y'all, if y'all ever listening. But I see them. They've been together for a long time, and they've been together since I was a kid. So I could see them being married, and it just the fact of it, of them being married that long. Sometimes I just think like they've been together for a long time, and I just wonder, how did problems arose or things happen that they led up to situations like ours or something like that.
And I'm sure they have had problems. It's just how you handle it.
Right.
And I think everybody handles it different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think you said you wanted to talk to people that have been married long time, because evidently they've not mastered, but they have experience in how to handle different situations that we may go through or other people may go through.
Even with your mom and your dad,
Yeah, they're divorced, but they have experience in they'll tell me their experience and how they handled it when they were married, and it's very helpful, because I cannot remember. My parents didn't argue in front of us. I can't remember a time where they did argue in front of us, so we never knew. All we knew, we would feel tension, and my mom would be in the living room, my dad would be in the room, but we didn't know they argued. So, yeah.
Well, like I said, we're still looking for people to interview, talk with, see what's going on. Table's still open. But yeah, we just need some advice. Comment, like, subscribe, let us know, key points we could learn to work on our intimacy, or what you all have done that if you had intimacy issues, or things that might have crossed your path similar to ours. Not saying that intimacy is an issue, because it's not. It's just the point of the things before the intimacy part. It's just the conversation, the understanding part of it. So,
and I think that's good to talk to other people, and I think everybody needs to know that, just so, not that you have to do what that person says, but it helps
get an
insight. But I think sometimes there has to be a rebuilding of intimacy. And that takes strength, it takes effort, consistency, time away from the things of life, the cares of your household, the children. And that's where the dating comes in, where, you need to just take out, like we said, we were doing the, what was it, Trina and Rico. Get back to that. That builds intimacy. And I remember one time we were like we would have conversations with each other, and I would act like you was somebody else, and just whatever our issue was, I would talk to you, but I'd be talking to the other person.
Right.
And I think that helps, because it helps to take your emotions out of it, because you're thinking on, this isn't my wife, this is somebody else. I think you have to be creative, as much as you want to be in your marriage, to save your marriage, to help your marriage, to grow your marriage. You just have to be creative in what works for your marriage.
Yeah, I can agree. To that. Yeah.
So, like you said, if you all have any pointers on intimacy, stepping outside the box, doing things differently, please share it in the comments. I'm sure we're not the only ones that, would love to see it, would love to hear it. That could be your pillow talk, to discuss what are some intimate things that we could do to strengthen our marriage, strengthen our friendship. And I think that's something important, to strengthen your friendship. And that will help your marriage last. Marriage isn't easy, but it doesn't have to be that hard. And yeah, you have your humps and your bumps, but overall, it's a good thing. It's a gift from God, and He gives us you know, that's a gift that he gave to those that are married. So utilize it. I think he gives us all the tools we need. We just have to work it.
Yep.
Work it.
Yep.
Have you had anything else?
I think it's fine.
Okay. So thank you all for joining in this Wednesday night. Again, drop some notes in the comments. We love to read them, and other people can read and learn and have their pillow talks. Again, go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. And we love y'all, and have a good night.